and welcome to episode 103, I believe, of the Stress Knits podcast. My name is Stacy, also known as Stress Knits Yarn on Instagram and Stress Knits over on Ravelry. Today is Thursday, January 30th, 2020, and I am coming to you from a different location. If you are new, hi, welcome. This is not the normal setup. And if you are returning, hi, welcome back. I hope you enjoy being here. Yes, so I am on vacation with my family. Doug started working with his friend who owns property up in Traverse City and invited us to go up here for a week. So we did, and we've been up here. We left on Sunday. So we've been up here since Sunday and we're leaving on Saturday. So it's a very long vacation. We're not really used to this. And it's just beautiful. Lake Michigan, we're in Traverse City, if you know that. It's like up here. And the way that Michigan kind of dips in and out at the top of the mitten, there are a few bays. So it's still water from Lake Michigan, but it dips into the state. So we're right on the bay and it's beautiful. So I keep staring out because it's snowy and it's beautiful outside. So that's why I'm in a different location. I'm a little stuffy. I'm just having some drainage issues, which is super cute to talk about, but it's true. So I have my water with me that I will probably be drinking a lot of during this because I feel fine, but my throat's a little gross. So, yes. What else is going on? That's pretty much it. We're just on vacation. So Doug went to a coffee shop to do some work because he is working while we're up here, and Eliza is down for her nap. So fingers crossed I can get through this because I don't want to miss a week. I've really enjoyed keeping on track with it this year, which, it's only January, but still feels really good. So, let's talk about knitting. I have brought a lot of stuff with me. I also have a bunch of yarn to show you that just went into the shop yesterday. Yes, but we'll save that for the end in case you're not interested. So, what I'm working on. The first thing that I brought with me is Doug's Flax pullover. This is Flax by Tin Can Knits. A lot of yarn going on. I don't know what's happening. This has been what I've been knitting on during the day. I don't know what's happening. My mom just texted me. If you're watching, Mom, hi. Didn't catch it. I will read it later. So this is Doug's Flax. And yeah, it's by Tin Can Knits. I've knit about 3 inches since you've seen it last. We're getting to the end of the body, which is very exciting. Doug is really excited for this. I'm knitting this for my husband, Doug. And yeah, I don't really know what to say about it. It is a black sweater. I'm knitting the size 43 for his chest, which will give him about 4 or 5 inches of positive ease. I think he measures around a 38. And so, yeah. I'm using Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in the cast iron colorway, and it's just perfect. The only modification that I really did is I omitted the garter stitch panel along the top of the sleeve, and I did a tubular cast on for the neck. And you're probably getting really sick of seeing this, but I'm working on it. He will have a sweater soon. I'm hoping by the end of next month. I was hoping for the end of this month, but that's tomorrow, and that's not going to happen. So, yes, I'm going to wind this yarn up really quick because, I don't know, Eliza got a hold of it the other day. She was flinging it around, and then I realized what was happening. Yes, So, Flax pullover by Tin Can Knits. Wonderful sweater. I love Brooklyn Tweed yarn. It's great. The other large project that I brought with me is my Woodwardia, which is from Pom Pom Quarterly. It is a Lydia Gluck pattern. It is the cover sweater. So I've made a lot of progress on this since you've seen it last. All right, so I have finished the collar. I have finished the body, which is all flippy because it hasn't been blocked yet. But here's my sweater. And it has a high-low split hem. So that's all finished, bound off. This is like the perfect color accuracy also. And so I finished the collar last night and I started the first sleeve. So excited about this pattern. So I want to talk about one thing, mostly. So this is Woodwardia by Lydia Gluck from Pom Pom Quarterly, Spring 2019. I made two modifications. One is I knit the body longer. So the body is about 14 inches rather than 8. So it's going to be a nice oversized cozy sweater. I also knit, this is not a modification, but I knit a size up from what I would normally do. So I'm knitting the 54 and 3/4, I believe, inch. Because my gauge was slightly off. I was about a stitch short of the row gauge. I think that's right. It might be stitch gauge. Whatever the horizontal one is, I always tell you that I get them mixed up because I do. So I was a little bit off, so my circumference was going to be a little smaller, so I would rather have a sweater that's a little bigger in the bust than something that's a little too tight because I prefer more positive ease in my tops. So I knit to the 54, which is the second to last size. And then instead of doing this gorgeous, beautiful turtleneck that they call for, I didn't. So this is my first folded neckline. So what you do is you knit twice the amount that you want showing. So this is the second time I've knit this particular collar because I did it just here, which is, I don't know how long it is. Do I have a tape measure on me? I do. Let me measure it because science, right? So it's about an inch. It's about an inch long, which for me is about 10 rows. And then I bound off and I tried it on and it was really like wavy and loose and I didn't like how it looked. I don't like binding off at the top of things. Like I don't like binding off toe-up socks. I hate binding off necklines. That's why I love when I can cast on and start because I can do different cast-ons and I'm not well versed enough in cast-offs. So a regular cast-off is too tight. My tubular cast-off needs a lot of work. It's also too tight. I don't have the tension right. I know how to do it. I just don't have the tension down for that. And then the bind-off that I did for like the body, which is like this surprisingly, it's not Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind-off. It's just a stretchy bind-off. Where you like knit and pattern and then knit or purl through the back loop. You know, it's genius. And I love the way it looks at the bottom of things, but I didn't like the way that it looked up top. It was just too open and it looked like funnel necky and it just wasn't flattering. So I ripped it out and I put the sweater in timeout for a few days because I was so frustrated. So last night was the first time I picked this sweater up on this vacation. And while Doug and I were finishing You Season 2, which is so good, so good, I finished my collar. So I knit 20 rounds and then I turned it inside out, folded it over, and whip stitched the inside down. So it's nothing fancy. But I whip stitched the bind off to where I picked up on the collar, and I love the result. It feels very finished and polished, and I think anytime that I need to do a collar, especially one that I'm binding off, I'm going to do a folded. And quite honestly, I might just do folded even if I start at the neckline. So I'm really, really happy with how this turned out, and I'm even contemplating doing a folded cuff for my arms. So yes, I'm really, really happy with this. It adds a lot of weight to the top, and it looks really good. It sits really well, and I cannot wait to have the sweater done. I'm using Stress Knits yarn, which is my hand-dyed yarn, in the My Jam colorway on my DK base, and it looks just like this. So I'm really excited. I alternated skeins on the body. I will not be doing so on the sleeves. It's just a little too fiddly for such a small circumference. Yeah, I'm magic looping because I prefer magic loop, and I know a lot of people do not like magic loop, but I genuinely do. Yeah, so I'm just going to be plugging away on the sleeves, and hopefully I'll have a finished sweater in the next few weeks. So that's Woodwardia. And then I also brought my Between the Canyons sock test knit, and I would like to get this done by tomorrow, which is the deadline. But again, I'm not a formal test knitter, I'm an informal test knitter for this one. So I don't feel a lot of pressure. I just want to get this done before the sock is released on February 5th. So here's where I'm at. So here is the pattern. This is by Huga Cannon, Kim, and it's just the most beautiful cabled seed stitched sock ever. So there are 2 cables, and then there is a small center cable, and it's flanked by seed stitch, and then you have some twisted rib over on the back. I finished the heel flap and turn. I am working on the gusset, so hopefully these will be done soon. I love them. And she designed, Kim designed these out of Stress Knits yarn, so I feel super lucky, and I have a bunch of the yarn that I use, that she used, and that test knitters used in the shop, so that if you want to use my yarn for this sock, you can. I'm using No Trail to Follow, which is a mint green with black speckles, and it's coming out a little more green. It's a little, I mean, that's pretty accurate. I would just tone down the green a little bit, and then that would be very accurate. Yeah, this color right here is perfect. That's what it looks like. So that is my Between the Canyons sock whip. And then what else did I bring? I started working on some stuff, but I realized I don't have the right materials. So I am knitting a Bluebird of Happiness for someone super special in my life that I don't really want to get into right now because I'm going to get really sad. But I really just wanted to knit her a Bluebird of Happiness. And I used to do this on Magic Loop, but I can't figure out how I made it work because it's just, I don't know. I don't know if the needles are too long. I don't know. So I'm in Traverse City. Wool and Honey is like 15 minutes away. I'm planning on going tomorrow, so I will be picking up some 0 double points while I'm there to finish off this Bluebird of Happiness. I'm using a Stress Knits yarn in the Betty colorway. Yeah, and this needs to be done by the 13th. So, yes. So it's just going to be a cute little Bluebird of Happiness. Yeah. It's just a little thing. I will talk more about this as February 13th gets closer, but I just don't really want to talk about it right now. So there is that. I also swatched, well actually let's talk about, I did knit on another sock simply for picture reasons. So I'm doing this series for Patreon about my color inspiration for a lot of my colorways. So today actually eucalyptus is going live, which I'm really excited about. I took all of those pictures and I'm super proud of them. But one of them that I really want to do in the next month or two is bell jar. So I had a little scrap, not a little scrap, I had a big scrap of bell jar in my scrap bin. I don't remember what I used this for. I have no recollection, but I literally just cast on a sock. This is all I'll probably knit of it so that I could take pictures of this colorway in a sock form. So this is bell jar on my favorite base, and it's one of my favorite colorways. This is an OG Stress Knits colorway, like first update Stress Knits colorway. Yeah, this, I Smell Snow, and Sweet Disposition are like my original three that I feel like most people know me from. So yes, bell jar, super special colorway. I'm excited to share that story with you over on Patreon if you are interested. So there is that. And then I swatched for my upcoming whip. So I wanted to knit the Yorkville by Mina Phillip, who is the knitting expat of Knitting Expat Designs, since it was in testing. This came out in the fall, I believe. And so I loved Mina's sample, and then I also watched Sue of Legacy Fiber Arts on Periscope. It's just a really nice, quick 20-minute thing I can well, it's not always 20 minutes, but just a quick thing I can throw on while I'm getting dinner ready, or like if I have a few minutes to myself. So I always watch the replays, and she knit her Yorkville sweater, and I loved hers. I loved all the other test knitters, and had to cast it on. So this is a part of my make 9, but it's more like a make 7. Woodwardia was on there, and Yorkville is on there as well. So I swatched for it. I haven't blocked or anything with the swatch. I haven't measured it. I just wanted to knit it. So I am going to be using my Dusk colorway, which is a colorway from my 2019 Advent, which is now a regular in the shop, and I love it. And this is how it looks knit up. It's incredibly accurate, actually. So it's just a fun broken rib texture thing going on, and I love it. And I think it's just going to be like the perfect pullover. So I'm really excited to do this. This is also on my DK base. And I have a sweaters quantity up in the shop if you're interested. And I had one that was kind of rogue that wasn't quite the same as the other dye lot. This one is a little more pink than the other. Well, this one might be a little more purple than the other ones. And I just grabbed it off the shelf so I could swatch with it. So I don't know what this will become. It might become a hat. It might become a framework bralette by Jessie May. I don't know. Or if my dye lot matches that I dye, which happens sometimes, I will use this in my sweater. So Yorkville by Knitting Expat coming soon once I finish Woodwardia and Flax. And I think that's all I've been knitting on. Yeah, that's all I've been knitting on. I'm really going to get really monogamous with Woodwardia and Flax. So hopefully those will be off the needles in the next few weeks. And so before I say goodbye, let's get into a Stress Knits yarn. So I had an update yesterday, and it was a little impromptu. We just had time to photograph everything. I brought a skein each of everything going into the shop and our backdrop that we use for photos. and I just really wanted to get a shop update up. I really am trying to do 2 a month this year. I don't know if it's going to always happen, but I'm trying really hard. And yeah, so I just wanted to get it up, and yeah, I want to show you what's in the shop. So the main focus of this update was my favorite base and my cloud base. So favorite is an 80/20 superwash merino nylon. It's a high twist, and cloud is 74% baby Surrey alpaca and 26% silk. So my idea was that you could get yarn for, well, literally for anything, but in my mind it was the Between the Canyon socks, which is my favorite base, and then the Satellite shawl by Andrea Mowry, because I'm obsessed, and I think a lot of you are too. And people have asked like what colorways I was thinking if I was going to knit it, and so I wanted to show you. But I did have some other smaller quantities of bare yarn, so I also dyed that. So first is Pillow Mint on Halo, which is my mohair silk base. This is Palm Lines on my Halo base. This is Grubby on Halo. And then let's go into Cloud, because Cloud is my favorite. So this is Eloise. Some of these are labeled because some of them are a little close. Like Eloise and Palm Lines are very similar, but when you get up close and personal, Eloise is a little more sophisticated and a little warmer, and Palm Lines is a little cooler. I can tell them apart here, but I don't know if it would be obvious, so I wanted to make sure that I labeled them just in case. But yes, Eloise on Cloud, Palm Lines on Cloud, Perfectly Adequate, which is a beautiful gray, Eucalyptus, and Pillow Mint on Cloud. And then I have Bubbly on Single, Bubbly on Favorite. I have one skein of 2 cathedrals. This is from my West Wing Yarn Club, and I found a rogue skein in my office. So this is 2 cathedrals based off of the West Wing, that episode that everybody loves. It's like the best episode of television, and this is based on the scene where he is he's in the church. Yes, so 2 cathedrals. This is I Smell Snow, which I love. I haven't dyed this in so long. Figgy. I don't know if I mentioned this, but Figgy is the same as Figgy Pudding. I just wanted to have something that was less Christmassy so I could dye this year round because you guys really like it. So Figgy Pudding is now Figgy. Then Perfectly Adequate on Favorite, Eucalyptus on Favorite, Palm Lines on Single, Dahlia on Single and Favorite, No Trail to Follow on Favorite, and last but certainly not least is a new colorway into the shop, and this is Winter Floral. I think there's only one left, which is insane, but this is also from the 2019 Advent calendar, and I love it. So that is what is in the shop. I wanted to give you some ideas of satellite shawls, so I do have a pre-order up. I have a pre-order up for, where is it? I literally just had everything next to me, and I moved it. Okay, so Eloise, okay. So the pre-order for Satellite, and the Satellite shawl is by Andrea Mowry. She used La Bien-Aimée, but I also understand that that's a very difficult yarn to get a hold of, especially here in the States. It's not always easily accessible. So I wanted to come up with my own combination for this shawl. This is the one that I will be knitting when I cast this on soon. So you have the option of my favorite base or my single base, and the colorway is Birch, which is just this beautiful cream with dark black speckles. That looks like birch bark for me. So that's Birch. And then the 3 contrast colors on Cloud are Eloise, Perfectly Adequate, and Eucalyptus. So in the kit, you will get 2 skeins of birch on the base that you choose, and my favorite and my singles base are the same price, so that doesn't matter. So you'll get 2 of birch on the base that you choose, and 1 each of the Cloud base. And I'm obsessed with this shawl. It's gorgeous. I haven't wanted to knit a shawl in a very long time, and this changed my mind. So this is the combo that I will be using, which I just really love. The other combination that I had in my brain, it's not up for pre-order or anything like that. But I thought I would just throw it out there because all of these yarns are in the shop in pretty large quantities, so a few people could get this kit. So the main color would be Palm Lines, and then the contrast colors in Cloud are Dusk, Rattle, and Figgy, which is another combination that I really like. I will be posting this picture on Instagram today. Yes, so that is another option if you are looking for something like that. But if you are looking for a combination for literally any project, please feel free to message me and I will help you pick colors, or we can do a custom order so that you get exactly what you want. The only stipulation is you need to order at least 3 skeins on the same base. But I will make an exception for satellite shawls because you are getting 2 of this and then 3 of Cloud. So if you are looking for a combination of the satellite shawl that is not in the shop currently, just message me. There's a contact form on my website and I will help you pick out a kit for yourself, or I will put one together for you based on colors you like. Or if you know exactly what you want, just let me know and I will put up a custom order for you. So that is everything I have to talk to you about. I hope you are having a wonderful week and I will see you next time.